Hello, welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Ruth Aguele. Let's begin from Glasgow. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has set the stage for world leaders to make history by taking the needed action to accelerate the fight against climate change. At the Leaders Summit in Glasgow, world leaders, including President Muhammadu Buhari, will make presentations to the COP26 climate conference on their bold ambitions to reduce carbon emissions. Onenge Fivers reports that over 120 world leaders are attending the conference. Let's see that.
The 6 years since Paris agreements have been the 6 hottest years in history, and even in the best scenario of climate action, temperature will rise above 2 degrees.
If working apart, we are force powerful enough to destabilize our planet, surely working together, we are powerful enough to save it.
Hosted by the United Kingdom with support from Italy, the Leaders Summit at COP26 is a significant, symbolic and impactful opportunity to put climate action on the global stage.
But we have the opportunity and we have the duty to make this summit the moment when humanity finally began, and I stress began, to defuse that bomb. And to make this the moment when we began irrefutably to turn the tide and to begin the fight back against climate change.
The overall target is for world leaders to put forward high-level ambition towards securing global net zero and keeping 1.5 degrees in reach.
Enough of brutalizing biodiversity. Enough of killing ourselves with carbon. Enough of treating nature like a toilet. Enough of burning and drilling and mining our way deeper. We are digging our own graves.
Leaders are also expected to commit to adapting to protect communities and natural habitats, as well as mobilize climate finance. Onengiye Fineface, NTA News.
And back home for us, the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development is designing a strategic policy document for the development of sustainable jewelry and gemstone industry in Nigeria for in-country value addition. Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Olamilekan Adegbite, is optimistic that the federal government will earn huge revenue from this subsector, as experts are already meeting to come up with the best approach in achieving this target.
Among the several varieties of gemstones found in Nigeria are very spectacular sapphires, colorful tourmaline, spessartites, garnets, aquamarine, emerald, topaz, and amethyst. Unfortunately, the gemstone and jewelry industry in Nigeria remains underdeveloped. The gems are mined by artisanal mining operations and sold as rough gemstones in Germany, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, and the United States.
This workshop is intended to develop a working document that will guide government in development of a sustainable gems and jewelry industry in Nigeria, covering laws, education, exploration, licensing, import, export, global market policies, trading, security, promotion, taxation, finance, pricing, partnership, etc.
Let's turn to legislative affairs. More agencies of government are appearing before committees of the National Assembly for appraisal of financial performance and projections for 2021 and 2022. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports on the session with Administrative Staff College of Nigeria and the Federal Loans Board.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, at this budget defense session with the House Committee on Public Service Matters, said its allocation for 2022 is 1.5 billion naira, out of which about 800 million naira is from internally generated revenue.
Subvention overhead costs 99,299,631 naira.
The Public Service Institute of Nigeria, the ASCOM, definitely government will not continue to run you. You have to look inward to see how you can generate revenue. You have all it takes to get money.
The Federal Government Staff Housing Loans Board told the committee it disbursed 1.7 billion naira revolving loan to 363 civil servants in 2021.
If we give them the amount that they cannot be able to pay before they retire from the service, it will be a problem. So we normally used to look at their years of service and their grade level.
The board is projecting more than 2 billion naira as collections for 2022. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The destruction of public property out of anger has never offered a solution to any problem. Rather, it creates more. Hence, public assets must be valued and protected to sustain development and economic growth. This was the submission of the Chairman House Committee on Water Resources, Sada Soli, when he led his team on an assessment of the Cross River Basin Development Authority vandalized during the NSAS protest.
The NSAS protest left a trail of destruction in its wake. Until date, many government establishments vandalized are still picking their bits and pieces. One of such organizations is the Cross River Basin Development Authority, and getting the authority back on its feet prompts this visit by the House of Representatives Committee on Water Resources.
We're here particularly to witness, or rather to see for ourselves, the level of damage the basin sustained during the NSAS just about a year ago, and see what measure of help we can come up with during the appropriation process.
The premises of the Cross River Basin Development Authority, vandalized during the NSAS protest, boast of about 80 hectares of expansive land, which is now witnessing encroachment by locals due to lack of perimeter fence to ward off unauthorized access, and management of the authority is optimistic that this visit will address this challenge and many others.
And when they tried to set this place ablaze, it was the same staff that had the courage to come and put off the fire. We had friends that had come out on credit to at least make us be able to stay here.
With the visit of the House of Representatives Committee on Water Resources, it is hoped that the authority is on track to regain its relevance in its contribution to the improvement of agriculture and rural development. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
The 5th Conference of Network of African Parliamentarian Members of Defense and Security Committees has ended, with renewed commitment to tackle insecurity across troubled areas of the continent. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The conference, facilitated by the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung Foundation of Germany, brought together parliamentarians and key stakeholders to discuss insecurity being one of the issues of concern on the continent. Legislative intervention and collaboration, backed by increased funding for security through appropriation, were some of the commitments endorsed at the conference. The Chairman House of Representatives Committee on National Security and Intelligence, Sha'aban Sharada, was elected as the new President General of the network, alongside Rashid Godamasi from Benin Republic and Henry Zumiaba of Democratic Republic of Congo as second and third vice chairman.
We will ensure effective projection and the good image of the network.
For the benefit of us, we Africans, for our own safety, that is a great cause to humanity.
The Network of African Parliamentarians, members of Defense and Security Committees, has headquarters in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. It was established to enhance dialogue and cooperation in tackling insecurity and illicit proliferation of small arms and light weapons in Africa. Lami Ali, NTA News.
Joint troops of Operation Hardin Kai in the northeast have eliminated more than 37 Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists. A statement by the Director of Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, indicates that the terrorists were neutralized by airstrikes conducted by the air component of Operation Hadinkai, leading to the destruction of gun trucks and criminal camps. Similarly, in the southeast, troops conducting exercise Golden Dawn Sector 3 have foiled an attempt to kidnap Most Reverend Augustine Ukwuoma at the Olu Diocese Catholic Secretariat in Olu, Imo State. The troops, in response to a distress call at about 2:30 a.m. on Sunday, 31st October 2021, forced the assailants to abort the criminal mission and take to their heels. Brigadier General Onyema notes that troops will continue to deny freedom of action to members of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Eastern Security Network, and other criminal gangs operating within the region, especially as the elections in Anambra State and the Yuletide season draws nearer. Let's go on a break. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Let's head to Lagos. Adiola is set to bring us news from that end. Adiola.
Thank you, Ruth. The need for the Nigerian Navy to continue in building a credible service capable of discharging its constitutional roles in a sustainable, efficient, and effective manner is the talking point as the 2021 Nigerian Navy Warrant Officers Convention kicks off in Lagos. Hingino John Adams reports that the theme is optimizing Nigerian Navy operations through effective warrant officers' leadership.
As a regimented service, the Nigerian Navy thrives on professionalism, hierarchy, and command structure that defines its operations. At the core of this structure are naval warrant officers who conduct operational interface between the officer cadres and naval ratings. Naval Warrant Officer Hami Suleiman understands how crucial his job is to effectiveness in the Navy.
To project the image and uphold the core values of the Nigerian Navy for its operation, for efficiency and effectiveness.
This two-day Nigerian Navy Warrant Officers Convention is focused on achieving a more efficient naval service built on improved leadership qualities of its warrant officers. While describing naval warrant officers as key players in the lower level of the Nigerian Navy, the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, enjoined them to leverage the convention to up their professional capacity.
Warrant officers are expected to be experienced, visible, and professionally sound. Thus, they are well positioned to instill discipline within the lower chain of command and to maintain naval customs and traditions.
Key papers for presentation at the convention include warrant officers as leaders, mentors, and frontline managers, as well as personnel development skills for warrant officers. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
Lagos State government says residents will get instant cash rewards for buying goods and services when a universal patronage cash rewards initiative tagged ECO token is unveiled soon. Commissioner for Wealth Creation and Employment, Yetunde Arobieke, made this known at an interactive forum with journalists in Lagos. Musa Toliat completes the report.
ECO token is the cash reward offered by organizations in the private sector to appreciate Lagos residents for sustained patronage of goods and services over the years. The initiative is the first of its kind in Africa, inspired by the Lagos State government to cushion the effect of COVID-19 pandemic on residents and businesses across the state. Commissioner for Wealth Creation and Employment, Yetunde Arobieke, hinted that more than 200 businesses and service providers, including telecommunications, electricity distribution companies, eateries, and departmental stores, have all keyed into the initiative.
All you need to look out for is a store that has ECO cash token. The moment you get into that store, and you buy anything, you are instantly rewarded with cash.
Eco token not only guarantees instant cash rewards, it has provisions for consumers to participate in weekly draws to win more cash gifts.
The companies are just giving back. So you find that people will keep going back. If I feel I can win something every week, I'll be tempted to say, let me go and buy some more. So the more you buy, the more you win.
Lagos State government says the universal patronage cash rewards is not a lottery, but an innovation to create jobs, increase financial inclusion, and boost business transactions in the state. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
And that's it from Lagos. We will hand over straight to Felicia and just for stories making up in that zone.
Thank you, Adiola. Welcome to Jos. Leaders of religious and ethnic nationalities have condemned the persistent killings and destruction of crops and farmlands in Plateau State, particularly in some parts of Basa local government area. This is contained in a 12-point communique issued at the end of a consultative meeting held at the Dialogue, Reconciliation and Peace Center, Jos. Grace Akwi-Gotip was there.
The meeting, which had representatives from all the religious and ethnic groups in the state, reviewed its previous activities and came up with resolutions that further strengthen the peace-building process in the state. In a 12-point communique, the group frowned at the incessant killing in Basa local government area, with plea on the security agencies to step up surveillance in the area. The group also decried the proliferation of security apparatus in some parts of the country and also affirmed its belief in the Nigerian police, the army, the NSCDC, and other legitimate security agencies set up by the federal government.
We appeal to the communities to initiate local security architecture to complement the efforts of the conventional security agencies in securing our communities. The Governor of Plateau State, Right Honorable Barrister Simon Bakola Long, for showing leadership and sincere commitment towards ensuring peace in our state.
It also cautioned youths against taking laws into their hands and the use of illicit drugs, calling on parents to be conscious of the movement of their children. In Jos, Grace Akwe-Gotip, NTA News.
The Commander, Operation Safe Haven and Commanding Officer 3 Division, Major General Ibrahim Ali says he will not relent until lasting peace is restored to various communities in Plateau State. He was speaking while receiving a report from the Peace and Reconciliation Committee set up by the command. Yildik Danladi reports.
In its quest for lasting peace on the Plateau, the Commander Operation Safe Haven on 11 September 2021 inaugurated Peace and Reconciliation Committee comprising various ethnic groups from 3 local government areas of Jos North, Jos South, and Basa. The commander says the aim of the committee is to work out modalities and strategies towards ensuring lasting peace in the areas, expressing delight to receive the report from the committee in good time.
This report will form the bedrock of the cherished, lasting peace we all clamor for as a united people. We now look at systemic issues. We now look at socio-economic and developmental issues. We now look at security and peace-building issues. We looked at the role of media, and then we looked at the land-related issues.
Plateau State government, through the Plateau State Peace Building Agency, says setting up the committees up as it reflects diversity, ethnicity, and community leaders and appreciated stakeholders working for peace on the Plateau.
If we can forgive one another, I think that we're going to have the much-needed peace.
Words of commendation and appeal for implementation of the report came from the various traditional and religious leaders as a promise to support Operation Safe Haven to achieve the desired results. The committee, which had 6 members, submitted a 94-page report to the Commander Operation Safe Haven. In Jos, Yildik Danladi, NTA News.
This is Nationwide. More reports in Abuja as we rejoin Ruth.
Thank you, Felicia. All right, let's talk TV. Television undoubtedly remains one of the most important medium of information dissemination. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday in this report chronicles the journey towards this invention in the world. The first terrestrial broadcast signals in Africa occurred on October 31st, 1959 in Nigeria. Let's see that.
Television is no doubt one of the most modern mass media, which historically the invention dates back to 1839 with its first public demonstration in 1927 by a 21-year-old American, Philo Farnsworth. As the giant of Africa in 1959, even before its independence, Nigeria took the lead in terrestrial TV broadcasting in southwestern parts of the country with the name Western Nigerian Television Service in Ibadan, which transformed to the largest TV network in Africa, the NTA. Broadcasting through this all-important and dynamic invention began in Nigeria ahead of Malaysia, Singapore, Jamaica, with other countries following. The technology has continued to change as it moves from analog black and white era to colored and then to digital system. This transformation has significantly enabled citizens' contribution to broadcasting through the social media. However, this comes with a major challenge: fake news. National Broadcasting Commission, as the regulator in Nigeria, wants traditional media outfits to always verify stories before they broadcast. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
All right, let's expand the discourse. Of course, a critical milestone when we're talking television history. We have a guest in the studio, Professor Umaru Pate. He's a Vice Chancellor of Federal University, Kashare, Gombe State. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Ruth, and good afternoon, Nigeria.
Good afternoon to you too.
Yes.
62 years, that is huge, and we're still counting. And today, Africa boasts of over 600 television stations. How have we grown if we look at the evolution all this while?
Well, you have just counted the numbers starting from the one in Ibadan in 1959 to date. Certainly, there is a significant expansion, not only in terms of the number, but even in terms of quality, in terms of reach, and in terms of content.
Yes.
And all of these things have been made possible because of the improvement in the technology of television. When TV started, if you could remember, some people thought radio will die. Then when radio came, people thought newspaper will die. But all of them are now surviving. And the advantage of TV is that it combines audio and video, and which means it has the capacity to cognitively, effectively influence the individual. And you could see in Nigeria, when it started in 1959, the Southeast had its own in 1960, 61, then Kaduna came in 1962. And ever since, we have been going up and up and up for base, like I've said, first technology. Secondly, because of politics, every place wants to have its own television station as part of its own identity. And of course, the issue of state creation. Anytime a state is created, the next thing is how do we now create our own television station without
project the state.
Yes, without even talking about how the NTA came into existence. Now, you also need to understand that television is glamorous.
Yes.
And because of its glamour, it attracts and it entertains, and people are always glued to it.
That is if the content is right.
Exactly.
So how can we use television to promote nation building for Nigeria? We have a lot of
Correct.
stations in Nigeria.
Yes. If you look at the history of Nigeria, television has been able to chronicle the history because the birth of television coincided with the independence of this country. So television has been able to capture all the sweet as well as the bitter moments of this country, which means it is like the historical chronicler of the Nigerian story. And if we are good in keeping our records, I think our television station should be able to tell us who we are, where are we coming from, and where are we heading to. Now, like any other medium, it has its own role in helping to build the psychology as well as influence the minds of our people towards building the nation, and also strengthening the bond of unity in diversity.
Yes.
If you look at the NTA, for example, you have all your stations spread over in almost every corner of this country. The principal reason is to ensure that this station or the NTA as an organization is able to bring the nation to the door of every citizen so that from here you will know what is happening elsewhere. And that will help to reduce the level of anxiety in our people for them to get to know more about the other side. And then there could be peace and tranquility in the system.
But you know, and the good thing you just mentioned, NTA, our mandate is in national interest first.
Exactly.
And there are concerns, especially with the new media and the traditional medium. We have a watchdog when it comes to the traditional medium of broadcasting, that's the NBC. But for the social media, talking about the new media, no, you know,
Ruth,
strategic.
This issue is not only in Nigeria.
Okay.
It's a technological phenomenon. And you cannot just arrest the technology. The issue of convergence, the issue of opening up with the availability of the internet, with your Android phone, an individual can just connect, and on it you have TV, radio, newspapers, and film, everything on one point. So because of that, it has given advantage and broken the monopoly.
Also.
It has broken the monopoly of the conventional media. People don't have to watch NTA now to know what is happening on the regular television tube as you know it. You can easily with your handset do that. And the danger again here is you can also, there's level of interactivity where you can also influence the content. And not only that, people can even start their own online television stations. And
the concern actually
we
is
have issue of fake news and hate speech, or what you call offensive speeches, and of course the hate speech. These, like I've said, is something that NTA cannot control. But what we need to do is we have to invest massively in the structures that we have currently so that they could also have the ability to operate 24 hours with content that could match what we are receiving elsewhere. And people could now fact check from your own sources. Not only that, we also need to create our own narratives and be sure that we are able to operate in real time, then ensure that we invest in content too, content that could be attractive to young people particularly. And except if we do that, complaining alone will not do. Regulation is extremely difficult in this kind of circumstances. Now the future of the media is in video and audio. And television has that advantage. So how do we now capitalize on it? By investing massively in the technology, investing massively in content to ensure that we are able to get younger people to be with us. Otherwise, the competition is stiff from the internet, the social media is there, and the number of television stations are also increasing on a daily basis. And don't forget, you are competing for equal attention or for the same attention of the same number of people. So for you to get people to follow you and counter all these fake speeches and hate messages, you must be up and doing and produce counter messages.
All right, Prof, I know there's so much you want to say. We'll just keep hoping that it gets better and our content tells positively of who we are as a people.
So, and let me also use this opportunity to congratulate Nigeria and particularly the media industry on this occasion. And we hope our television station, particularly the NTA, will continue to grow with more indigenous language broadcasting.
Of course, so NTA is already doing that.
Yes, but we need to do more and invest more.
Thank you very much, Professor Umaru Pate, Vice Chancellor, Federal University, Kashiri, Gombe State. All right, we're heading to Benin, where we join Ogochukwuka for an update on that end.
Thank you very much, Ruth. Welcome to Benin. Government and other stakeholders are determined to empower youths by investing them with skills and relevant enlightenment. This intervention is required in order to attack rising levels of unemployment and the near total disappearance of white-collar jobs. Onyinye Joshua Ifeanyi tells us more.
Many have attributed the rising rate of crime in Nigeria to unemployment. Year in, year out, a large number of graduates are churned out from the nation's tertiary institutions with no white-collar jobs to fall back to. Just like developed nations that hinge on individual skills, many today are advocating vocational skills as the only way out.
We, the youth now, cannot just sit back and wait for government to do all that. Or we can stay up ourselves by engaging in learning skill. We can learn skill.
This day you find out that youth are no longer learning work.
What the government ought to have done over the years from the foundation is to empower the people, the youth, even as they are schooling.
Some have also called on the government to ensure an enabling investment environment as a means of bringing in more foreign investors.
Talk about tech. Tech is one of the 21st century new business. If Nigeria can invest in agriculture, tech, I think a whole lot of people will be getting employed, even without getting the government to directly involve these people.
On its part, Delta State government says it is determined to keep its youths gainfully engaged in productive activities and other employment opportunities to save them from crime and other vices. In Asaba, Onyinye, Joshua Ifeanyi, NTA News.
Eliminating discrimination and gender-based violence against women dominated discussion at the seminar organized by the Catholic Women Organization in the Benin Archdiocesan Council. Ifeoma Okafor reports.
The World Health Organization, WHO, estimates that 35% of women worldwide have experienced physical or sexual partner violence or non-partner sexual violence. The costs of gender-based violence, it says, are substantial. It was also observed that violence against women and girls impede their full participation in society, limits their access to education and economic empowerment. For this reason, these Catholic women in the Benin Archdiocese converged on St. Paul's Minor Seminary to discuss the role of women in eliminating discrimination and gender-based violence.
When the society is polluted as regards violence against women, now it is not just women but children, child. So the decay situation is very bad. Women have become more vulnerable, very vulnerable. So that's why we want to talk about it, so that even mothers, because some mothers don't even encourage their children. We need to eradicate, and women need to put their heads together to make sure that this thing that is going on in respect of our children, the world, should be stopped.
As mothers, it is our own duty to also ensure that our sons also share in chores and respect that women are also important in the society.
Participants described the workshop as not only timely, but one that will equip them to be better role models and shape their attitude towards their children. In Benin, Ifeoma Okafor, NTA News.
We'll be taking a break now to bring you more commercial messages, and thereafter, Abubakar will be coming up with more reports from Maiduguri. Stay tuned.
We're glad to have you back on Nationwide, and this is Maiduguri Zonal Network Center. Let's move on now. United Nations has reassured states in the 4 countries of the Lake Chad region of its continued support to ending the crisis occasioned by the Boko Haram insurgency. This was during a courtesy call on Borno State Governor Babagana Umara by the UN High-Level Joint Mission, comprising Special Representative of United Nations Secretary General for West Africa and Sahel, Muhammad Saleh Al-Nadif, and that of Central Africa, Francois Laurence Fall, as well as other senior UN officials. Mohamed Goni completes the story.
The United Nations Joint High-Level Mission has been visiting states in the 4 countries of Lake Chad region affected by the Boko Haram crisis to, among other things, appraise challenges and progress recorded so far and what the UN and the states need to do to address them. The special representatives of the UN Secretary General for West Africa and Sahel, as well as that of Central Africa.
We recognize the tremendous efforts that have been put in to address the Boko Haram challenge.
We are here to learn, to take notes, and to report first to the Security Council, and also to advocate to the international community of what we have to do.
Governor Babagana Umara, who appreciated the UN's unwavering support, further appealed to the UN officials to, among other requests, conditions conducive for spread of terrorism and violent extremism, in line with UN Global Counter-Terrorism Strategy, as well as championing the recharging of the Lake Chad Basin through sources already identified within the territory of Nigeria.
With the recent death of Shakal and the massive defection of the terrorists,
and the increasing peace we are experiencing, this is the best time to rapidly increase resilience of the people.
The high-level mission will proceed to Niger Republic in continuation of its visit. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
Borno State government is to recruit the unemployed persons trained in the field of agriculture in Thailand in 2012. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum made this known while addressing the trainees at the multipurpose hall of the government house, Maiduguri. Here again is Mohammed Goni with the rest of the story.
The trainees have received 3-month intensive training in various fields of agriculture as part of government's effort at resuscitating the agricultural sector in the state. Governor Babagana Umar said those working with local government councils will have their services transferred to the state government to explore the knowledge gained by the trainees in Thailand to boost modern agricultural practice in the state, as some of them will serve as extension officers.
We have been speaking about modern agricultural development for the last 2 years. Honestly speaking, nothing has been done. We need to fast-track the process and see how we can engage in modern agriculture immediately.
Professor Zulum added that he has already directed the State Agricultural Transformation Team to identify suitable locations for modern sprinkler irrigation system as pilot project, after which it will be extended to other fertile areas, while the trainees will be divided into 4 groups, with each led by a leader to put into practice what they learn in Thailand. He informs that borehole will be drilled at all locations, while integrated system of agriculture, where farms will combine livestock production and farming, will be encouraged by the state government, assuring that government will not hesitate to send them for further training should the need arises, and engage the services of retirees to train younger ones. Team leader Kakakari Abdu said the participants have received various trainings that include biogas, poultry, fishing, lowland and highland rice cultivation, among others, and lauded the governor for his initiative aimed at revamping the sector through introduction of modern systems and techniques. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
You're on to Nationwide on Africa's window to the world, the NTA. It's now time to return to Ruth in Abuja for more reports. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Abubakar. Reports just reaching us says a 12-story building under construction has collapsed at Gerald Road in Lagos. Reports said people are trapped under the rubble. We'll definitely bring you the details in our subsequent bulletin. Jubilation rent the air at the Benue State Government Annex Abuja as Benue people celebrate the election of the former president of the Senate, Yochia Ayu, as the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party at its 2021 convention. Charles Abba reports that Benue political gladiators and other prominent personalities of the state expressed determination to unite and move the state and nation forward.
The emergence of the Boko-born politician from chief extraction of Benue State and former president of the Senate, Dr. Yochia Ayu, at the just concluded PDP 2021 convention at the Eagle Square, Abuja, sparked off excitement at the camp of Benue people.
We are happy that the chairman has come to us.
This national chairman, that the governor is something different in Benue. And you came to Abuja and you can't believe that someone like this will say that kind of thing. You there are used to doing that. You will not find us.
The newly elected national chairman of the PDP, Dr. Yochia Ayu, who appreciated God and the people for the feat, harped on the task ahead, emphasizing the power of unity and consensus.
If we unite, there's a lot we can do for Nigeria. Because Benue has so much talent. We can serve Nigeria very well and make Nigeria a better place.
If you're going out here with nothing, go with a message that we have the responsibility, every one of you, to lead this country again from bottom.
The governor was emphatic on ensuring that the emergence of the PDP governor in Benue State in 2023 would be as seamless as that of the PDP National Convention 2021. From Abuja, Charles Abba, NTA News.
As part of continued efforts to reduce the effect of COVID-19, the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has distributed food items to vulnerable people in Nasarawa local government area in Kano State. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that the gesture is in partnership with International Organization for Migration and the Swiss government.
We commend federal government. The food items will assist us very well.
That things are hard, we appreciate them. Thank you very much for giving us all this type of food, and it's going to be enough for a long time period for us to be eating with our families.
We thank God for this gesture. These beneficiaries have every reason to shower encomiums on federal government for these and many interventions. The project, which is a pilot scheme aimed at providing immediate socio-economic relief to potential migrants impacted by COVID-19 in northern Nigeria and Kano inclusive. The target beneficiaries were carefully selected from Nasarawa local government area of the state.
The project is all about a COVID-19 support program. It's in continuation with what the ministry have been doing to ensure that livelihood are sustained amidst the COVID-19 crisis and outbreak.
Items distributed include rice, vegetable oil, noodles, milk, spaghetti, among others. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The need to step up campaign on the dangers and prevention of breast cancer has become paramount. This formed part of the views of participants at a breast cancer campaign walk in Owerri, organized in collaboration with the Imo State Ministry of Health. Doris Alex reports.
October every year is set aside by the World Health Organization to show their support for everyone affected by breast cancer and also create awareness on the need for prevention. This breast cancer campaign work in Owerri, put together in collaboration with the Imo State Ministry of Health, is geared towards creating awareness on the dangers of breast cancer. Some participants who described the work as a modest contribution to the fight against cancer stressed the need for self-check.
There is breast cancer, it is real, and also the warning signs that people should also look out for. That is the major thing, because it says that prevention is better than cure.
Women are advised to go for examination so that in case it is in their body, it will be detected early. Because when it is detected early, it can be treated.
For Dr. Okechukwu Duru, the event is put together to strengthen those living with breast cancer and also educate women on their role in achieving prevention.
Exercise is one of the things you can do to prevent cancer.
The theme for this year's Breast Cancer Awareness Month is Awareness is Power. In Owerri, Doris Alex, NTA News.
Female medical practitioners and members of the Defense College Officers' Wives Association have added their voices to the inclusion of breast cancer treatment in the National Health Insurance Scheme to reduce the financial burden on those suffering from the ailment. The organizers put together free examination for some rural women in the FCT.
A World Health Organization data reveals that breast cancer is currently the most prevalent globally, with an estimated 2.26 million cases recorded in 2020. In Nigeria, it is the leading cause of cancer-related deaths, representing about 23% of all cases. Worried by the statistics, the National Defense College Officers' Wives Association created this awareness program for early detection and possible treatments.
We need to screen to be able to detect this disease at stage 0. If you write breast screening on a card and then the person is on NHIS, they will tell you that no, it is not covered because it is screening. It is better for us to add screening mammograms to our National Health Insurance Scheme.
Medical practitioners at the event said breast cancer cases are on the increase in Nigeria, most often due to lifestyle patterns, noting late presentation and urbanization as major challenges in successful treatment.
For women who do not go for screening, what it means is that they will not know when they have it. And by the time they know, it will be too late.
Experts believe the disease is characterized by abnormal growth of cells in the breast.
Not too long ago, the National Senior Citizens Center inaugurated a technical working group drawn from diverse sectors to develop a 10-year strategic development plan towards actualizing its vision of ensuring social inclusion for older persons. To that effect, the center is holding a 5-day workshop to scrutinize the document developed for effective and well-coordinated approach in fulfilling its mandate. From wishful thinking to reality, the vision of changing the narrative for older persons in the country is gradually coming to fruition. In its quest for social inclusion of older persons, the National Senior Citizens Center, after holding due consultations with strategic key players in the northern and southern zones across the country, is meeting again with technical partners to scrutinize its 10 years developmental work plan that would determine its mandate, build capacities on tackling challenges in line with the Policy Act for older persons.
Once this document is finalized, the implementation plan is also developed, I am confident that in Nigeria, I'm sure now we will be a very, very good example to other countries.
So this is like tying everything together and giving us a critical, procedure, how we can develop models of entrepreneurship and training syllabus for all the people, how we can work with financial institutions, to bring financial inclusion.
At the end, the group are expected to strengthen the Commission's policies to meet the welfare of older persons and make life better for them. All right, let's talk sports. Tamara Ebiwe will guide us.
The ongoing Prudent Energy Handball Premier League continues to heat up with teams battling for the supreme prize. In Monday's matches, Imo Grasshoppers whipped Seasider Babes 32-23. In the men's category, Canopilas were 4 goals better than Plateau Vipers, scoring 24-20. It was a tighter encounter between Confluence Stars and Lagos Seasiders, which ended 32-34. For day 13 fixtures, Chief of Army Staff Shooters prepare for a showdown with 2020 title holders, Safety Shooters. Kada Stars will be looking to put their 26-15 defeat to Canopilas behind them as they are fixed for a clash with Rima Strikers. While the final fixture for the day will see D Defenders tackle Toje Marine Academy. In volleyball, Nile University have emerged champions of the 2021 Life Camp Unity Volleyball Cup, which ended Sunday at the volleyball court, Jabi Lake, after defeating Nyanya Spikers by 3-2. Life Camp female volleyball team won the women's category after a 3-set victory over Legend Spikers.
This is the first time we are hosting this big competition, and fortunately, my team emerged the winner.
We're under pressure, so we're trying to make everything so perfect. But later on, the coach was like, we should just play, no gamble, we should just be focused and play on the game.
In football, Premier League side Tottenham have sacked manager Nuno Espirito Santo after his defeat to Manchester United on Sunday. The club announced that Nuno is leaving with his coaching staff, Barbosa and Diaz, as they have also been relieved of their duties. Nuno is leaving Tottenham after only 4 months. With sports updates, Tamara Ebiwe, NTA News.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, on behalf of the Federal Executive Council, commiserates with the government and people of Katsina State over the death of former Minister of Agriculture and Water Resources, Abba Sayedi Ruma. In a condolence message, the SGF describes late Abba Ruma as an educationist of note, whose contributions led to the formulation of various policies in both the agricultural and educational sectors, which impacted positively on the growth and development of the country. The late Abaruma served as Minister of Agriculture and Water Resources under the administration of late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua between 2007 and 2010. He was also Minister of State for Education in 2005, as well as Minister of Education in 2007 under the administration of President Olusegun Obasanjo. That's the news. Thank you very much for your time. Remember, we're not done in the fight against rape and rapists. I'm Ruth Aguele. Bye.